want to know why Malik wants to deceive me to vote for his party. I'm saying deceive because I'm not yet convinced. So let's listen to him. Malik, my first question is, why do you want the youth in Ghana or the Ghanaian youth to vote for His Excellency John Mahama and the NDC?
Thank you very much. This election has got to do with our future. Anybody who is 30 years or anybody who is between the ages of 20 to 40 years is closer to what we all usually used to say, I want to be great in future. And so if you are from 20 years, 22 years, 25 years, you are a step away from that aspiration, that vision of you always saying that I want to make Mama proud in future, I want to buy a car for Mama, I want to build a house for Mama, and I want to be a big person in future. That step is a step away. And so this election is a decision it's a decision to be taken by the youth of this country as to how they want their future to look like. And so a direct answer to your question is that please vote for John Mahama simply because he wants you and I to build the Ghana we want together. He wants to decentralize his vision for this country. He wants to do what he...
Oh, network. I'm sure the one you call. I'm sure someone called him.
Know that one of the first challenges that confronts the youth of this country is one, unemployment. More than 80% of youth in this country are unemployed. The second challenge that confronts the youth of this country are what we call papa jobs. Xandy, you know that many youth out there go to work simply because they want to wake up in the morning and bath and go somewhere. It is not because the jobs they are doing are really paying. I listened to a story of a young man who was telling me that at the end of the month he's being paid 300 Ghana cedis. Another person told me he's being paid 400 Ghana cedis. And sometimes you listen to youth who go to work tell you they are being paid 800 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis. And I ask myself, what can 1,000 Ghana cedis do for a youth in this 21st century? I mean, rent in Accra, even a mere chamber and hall self-contained goes for about 1,800, 1,200. A mere single room self-contained. A chamber hall today in Accra, a befitting chamber hall today in Accra goes for about 1,300, 1,500 Ghana cedis. And so if you take 1,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the month, of which you are going to pay for your salary, your rent, of which you are going to use for your TNT, of which you are going to use to take care of yourself, and of which you are going to use to take care of your junior siblings, especially if you are the firstborn, secondborn, and you have some junior siblings, you would have to support your parents in taking care of them. Many youth of this country wake up in the morning, bath, and go to work simply because they ought to go to work. And that is why, on a number of occasions, you have friends who are working. But anytime you go on their status, they are either selling boxer shorts, they are either selling watches, they are either selling shoes, they are selling shirts. And at the end of them, they posting some of these things, they will write, please patronize me. Please patronize me. They are virtually pleading with people to buy something from them, not because you even need it, but because her next meal is going to come from what you are going to buy from her status. And that is very unfortunate. I feel sad anytime I see things like this. Look, today, you want to send a text message, a mobile money to a friend, you would have to call the person and ask the person which number you should send your money to. Sometimes somebody, Sandy, you are laughing, and that's a fact. You know, sometimes somebody sits down, and if you make a mistake and send mobile money to somebody, a youth in this country, in Ghana's number, without asking the person which number you should send the money to, you end up paying twice, because many youth of this country owe mobile money simply because they are unemployed, simply because they have to cope with current day hardships, and simply because their next meal would have to come from monies they borrow on mobile money. And most often that not, they default in paying. So the point I'm making is that there is high cost of living, the standard of living is so high, prices of goods and services are so high, and the youth of this country are either unemployed or the youth of this country will have to engage in papa jobs. So President Mahama says jobs are a leading factor of why he wants to be president. He wants to create an avenue to create jobs for this country. And one of the first mechanisms he wants to use is by introducing what we call a 24-hour economy. The 24-hour economy is a system where one job that has been operating is now going to operate as a three-shift system and is going to recruit 3 people. So President Mahama met with the TUC, the Trade Unions Congress, and all business owners in this country. And he told them that, look, you travel abroad and you find other economies running at a three-shift system. You go to Germany, you go to the United Kingdom, you go to the United States of America, you go to even Dubai, and you find that people work at a three-shift system. There is no point in time that the economies of this country go to sleep. But in Ghana, our economy works for only 8 hours. The remaining 12 hours, the entire economy of this country goes to sleep. How can you develop your country if your country sleeps for 12 hours and works for only 8 hours? Ce n'est pas possible. It's not possible. And so President Mahama is saying that we must emulate other countries. And so he met businesses, and businesses told him that, look, they are ever ready to work 24 hours. The only reason why they are unable to work 24 hours is simply because there are high taxes, their electricity tariffs are high, and they are also afraid to even work in the night. These days, Xandy, you would bear witness that even mobile money vendors close as early as 5 p.m. because they get robbed. These days in Accra at 7 p.m., you will hardly get a mobile money vendor to send any money. So President Mahama said, fine, this current administration has been wasting a lot of money in unnecessary expenditure. The president today, President Akufo-Addo, just wakes up. He wants to watch a UEFA Champions League finals between Liverpool Hotspurs and Tottenham. Then he decides to go and rent a private jet. He flies all the way to Madrid, paying £14,000 an hour. He wasted over 10 million of the taxpayers' money just to go and watch a UEFA Champions League final match at the park. But I kept saying that, Mr. Akufo-Addo, if you even sit in your house and watch on TV, you will see the players clear than when you go to the stadium. Because I'm wondering how our president is going to look in the stadium, especially when people in front of him stand up. So it's critically unfortunate. President Mahama is saying that, look, instead of wasting about 15 million going to watch that match, he will sit in his house, he will renew his DSTV at 200 cedis, and he will watch that Champions League finals. The remaining amount that he would have wasted in that private jet will be used to complement businesses in paying their taxes. So he will meet businesses halfway. He will help them pay their taxes, he will reduce electricity tariffs for them, and he will recruit a lot of security persons to monitor all these businesses in the night. So once he said that, the team said, fantastic. Then we're willing to recruit the youth of this country. And when a bare-faced analysis was done, all the companies came together and said that, look, we will be able to recruit more than 2.5 million youths to work in our companies if we are able to run at a three-shift system. So President Mahama said, carry on. Once I come into office, I'll meet you halfway. You've got to also recruit the youth of this country. And the total unemployment rate in this country is about 1.8 million. So if these companies are willing to recruit about 2.5 million, what it tells you and I, Xandy, is that you and I can even get a job to do, can get 2 jobs to do. A university student who goes for lectures in the morning can equally get a job to do in the evening. And the issue of unemployment in this country will finally become a thing of the past. There are people who don't want to work for government. There are people who want to run their own businesses. President Mahama says he appreciates that mindset. It is not wrong that I finish university and I don't want to be an employee. I want to be an employer. So President Mahama says, we will support you with startup capital to start your own businesses. And we've done it before. In 2016, 2015, we helped people start up their own businesses. And there were many people who were even brought to Parliament to testify as to what they used that youth support from the government to do. President Mahama says we revisited, and the national, the support for young business entrepreneurs would be put to force, and everybody will get support. There are also people on your TikTok live now who belong to the informal sector. What that means is that they did not go to school. That is not a crime. It is not a sin not to have attended school. There are people who do not attend schools for different reasons. You and I may be privileged because we had somebody to pay our school fees. There are people who never had anyone to even pay their school fees. And so they were home. President Mahama says would implement what we call the National Entrepreneurship Program. We would support you people with startup capitals to set up your businesses. Even when you go to learn a trade, President Mahama says he will support your bosses and support you people who also learn your trade and finally become bosses of your own and start employing people.
I'm not cutting you, but it's like you are over prepared because you've answered all the questions without the questions being asked. Like, yes. Why are you like this?
Yeah, so
why are you over prepared? Allow us to beat you with our questions. Like, you are just why?
So these are few reasons why I think that President Mahama is the best. I'll pause here for more questions to come in.
Okay, thank you. So after the manifesto, the two manifestos were launched, the youth and then the other one and the Winneba. I've had when I posted the flyer yesterday for our discussion today, I've had more than 10 women in my DM. They are saying that it is not a crime to be a woman. But now the price of pad and then the tax you pay on pad alone is weighing the, like it's even killing them. What is that? Is if only okay, by the grace of God, when you come into power, what are you going to do about that?
You see, there are unnecessary taxes on the price build-up of pad. Unfortunately, this government seems unconcerned. And what saddens my heart is that we even have people in this government tease the NDC, that National Pad Party. I am not in any way embarrassed that my political party sees the need to supply free pad to persons in school, persons in junior high schools. I feel sad because where I come from, I see young girls unable to even buy pad and use. There are people who use tissue. Excuse my language, because people who are eating. People use tissue. People use cloth, and it's so sad that something that a human being or a girl child did not bestow upon herself will have to go through challenges just to meet that condition. I am a man. I don't menstruate, and so ordinarily in a month, the only thing I think about is to buy food to eat. But there are women I know, or women who will have to think about what to eat and also think about money to buy pad when their period starts in.
And even buy for your children.
And even buy for your children, and even your cousins, and if you live in a house. I remember my mother, and this is a very true life story. My house was a house for many people, and my mother and my father took care of the children of many people, and we all became siblings. I remember that every month, my mother used to buy a whole box of pad because of the number of ladies we had in our house. And at the end during their period, they all walked into my mother's room and they request for a pad just to use. The next month, my mom will have to buy that pad again. Today, one single pad. The last time I asked about the price of pad, and no one should ask me who I bought that pad for. The last time I asked about the price of pad, it was just for educating purposes. I asked for the price of pad. Pad was over 25 Ghana cedis. I don't know of the price now, but it keeps rising and rising and rising. And where will an unemployed lady get money to buy pad when her period sets in? So President Mahama says, now, fortunately, he has a lady as his vice president. He thinks that Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman understands the challenges of women better than he, President Mahama, does. And so at every given point in time, Professor Nana Jane will champion the interest of Ghanaian women. And he's the first person in a major political party to have done that. The MPP have never thought of making a woman a running mate. President Mahama says, no, we must be balanced. Because in this world, God created two people. He created man and he created woman. And if he's a man, he needs to complement himself with a woman. And that is Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. So Prof. Jane has said that because she's a woman and she buys pad and she's bought pad and she continues to buy pad, she feels the pain of the girl child. And so by so doing, we are going to clear all the obnoxious taxes on sanitary pad. And we are also going to support companies that are going to produce sanitary pad locally. So the price of sanitary pad could be very much affordable. And if I say affordable, you'll be surprised as to the price sanitary pad will be sold for. Barely free. because all the taxes, COVID levy, VAT on parts, and all those unnecessary taxes are going to be scrapped off. Sanitary pad must be brought down, and all our brothers, all our sisters in junior high school, all our sisters in school who cannot afford sanitary pad will be provided sanitary pad at a free rate at the end of every month by President Mahama through his female vice president, Professor Nana Jimmy. And so that's the decision of the NDC towards sanitary pad.
So
The MPP's manifesto, they have nothing on sanitary pad. They don't care about ladies, and they didn't factor in it. In next question.
So another concern or other concerns from the manifesto, people are complaining, people are asking about the 24-hour night club and then the 24-hour banking system. Can you educate us on that? Like break it down for us to understand.
You see, I know of countries where you can walk into the bank late in the night, and at every time you could have banking services. Look,
so the point here is that people are saying that now in Ghana, even broad daylight, people are robbing you, taking, like, you just come out from the bank or even from a Momo joint, and then they just take. So if broad daylight people are doing this, then how come a 24-hour banking system, like, the thing is just dangerous, it's too risky?
Exactly. One of the reasons why people go out there to rob is because of unemployment. If everybody is employed, you would have less criminals on the streets. Travel to countries where unemployment is rate. It will tell you that crime rate is also low. Because once unemployment is on the low, crime rate will be on the low. The man who robbed you and I will have a job in President Mahama's government. He won't see the need why he should pull a trigger and rob you of your money. And so once the 24-hour economy is going to run, the first challenge it's going to solve is the issue of crime rate on our streets, because many people are going to be employed. The second thing that is going to happen is that President Mahama is going to recruit a lot more security that will also partner with the private security services. So the private security services are going to be strengthened, and the public security services, more people are going to be recruited. And while these people are recruited, they are going to provide 24-hour vigilance for the Ghanaian businesses in this country. Imagine a bank where you have about 4 or 5 policemen. Imagine a road, a street, where you have about 4 or 5 policemen on every street in this country. Where are people going to rob you? You take your money and then you go home. But you see, the main intention of banks even running 24 hours is not for you to go there at 2 a.m. and simply, it's not only for you to go and remove money at 2 a.m. The other purposes banks serve. I know of somebody who wanted a bank statement in the night because by morning he needed to use his bank statement for something. Banks were closed. He had to wait till morning, and he had to go to the bank around 9, 10 a.m. just to get a bank statement. If the bank had operated in the night, this man would have gotten a bank statement even at 2 a.m. So it does not necessarily have to do with money. It doesn't necessarily have to do with you going to the bank to raise or cash out money.
Oh,
So many things you have people to do in the bank. They've got to open accounts, they've got to check on the accounts, they've got to take other statements and documents from the bank, they've got to take guarantees and guarantors from the bank, so many other things. But because at the time that person's job is closing, the bank is also closing, he keeps postponing his trip to the bank. But if this man closes at 5, and at the bank another man closes at 5, and another man takes over at 6, let me cite this example so that it's clear. I work at DVLA, you work at the bank. I close at 5, you close at 5. How can we help each other in our companies? It's not possible, because when I'm working, you are also working. When I close, you also close. But in the new system, if I work at DVLA and you work at the bank, when I close from DVLA and you also close at the bank, there's somebody who will take over from me at DVLA, and there's somebody who also take over from you at the bank. So I can walk to the bank to have my transaction. You can.
hey, who are those calling him?
I good that point. I mean, services near future export-led economy.
Okay. What about the Ninth Club issue?
You see, the issue with Ninth Club is I don't see why we intend even making that a major. Nightclubs have DJs that operate in the club. They have security men that operate in the clubs. They have people's caterers and whatever that serve drinks in the club. And so put a nightclub aside, but take a restaurant, for example. If a company is running at Tema and there are workers that come there in the night to work, obviously the restaurant that was running by that mall will not close at 6 again. That restaurant will also begin to run at 2-3 shifts, because at the next time hour, there are people that are going to be working and that people are going to be buying from the restaurant. So once a company runs 3 shifts, the watcher seller who was there can also go 3 shifts. The store which was by the company can also run 3 shifts. The how do we call that milk we usually drink? Burkina. The Burkina seller who was selling by the company can also run 3 shifts. And once the company does 3 shifts, all other subsidiary companies or businesses that depend or that get their customer base from that company will begin to also run 3 shifts. And that is how the entire economy is going to go at a 3-shift system.
Okay, thank you. Percy, do you have anything to ask?
Yes. Malik.
Yes.
Senior, how are you?
I'm well, Senior.
I'm for.
Senior. Hey, I'm for.
Everything cool.
I did for you, bro.
Okay. On the nightclub.
Yes.
I have a question there.
Okay.
You running nightclub 24 hours. Do you think students in the universities will get time to learn? Are they going to sit on campus? Because university is not like SHS that will have senior house masters to take care of them or to restrict them not going out and other stuff. If a nightclub is running 24 hours and you can't say all students are Christians, definitely we have bad boys and bad girls and those people who want to enjoy themselves. And are you trying to tell me that these students are going to stay on campus also 24/7, or it is good for them to also go to the nightclub because the government has approved it?
You see, my focus is the university students who get a job as a result of the 24-hour economy. My focus is that when that university student goes to class in the morning, by evening the university student could get a job to do so that the university student could pay a fees. So instead of us thinking about the university student going to the nightclub or going to a restaurant to work, let's think about the jobs the 24-hour economy will offer to that university student, so that that university student, after going to class for the first lecture and closing, because like you said, university is not just like senior high school. In the university, we go to class sometimes the whole day we just have a 2-hour lecture, you know that. Sometimes at the university, the whole day we have a 4-hour lecture because we do 2 hours and we do 2 hours again at another time. And the remaining time we are left to go and sleep. Yet at the end of the semester, we struggle to get fees to pay. So this time, as a result of the 24-hour economy, a company like Valco that will be running at a 3-shift system could recruit a Joa who is in the university and has a lecture of 2 hours just in a day. But she could finish the 2 hours, go and sleep for 4 hours, wake up, go to Valco, work for 8 hours, come back home and sleep for the remaining hours. So that at the end of the month, a Joa will be paid, and at the end of the semester, a Joa will take care of herself. So the most important is for us to think about the jobs that are going to be created at the passport office, the jobs that are going to be created at Kapoha, at the port, the jobs that are going to be created at Valco, the jobs that are going to be created at the DVLA, the jobs that are going to be created all across businesses that are going to enroll in the 24-hour economy. So all the youth of this country could get jobs, other than thinking about going to dance in the nightclub. The problem with the youth of this country is not necessarily about dancing. It's about getting sustainable and well-paying jobs to do in this country. Thank you, Percy. Senior, I salute you.
Okay. Senior, another question. I have another question.
You have just 2 minutes. There are a lot of people requesting.
Okay. Let me put this one. Let me make this one snappy. With the same 24-hour economy and the nightclub, I'm still on the nightclub and these small companies that you want them to run 24 hours so they can employ more people. Fine. Is the government going to support them with fund? Because let's say a contractor working for maybe Anglo Good or Newmont, you force the contractor to maybe pick or employ about 300 or 3,000 people to run a shift. Fine. These people, when they come on site, they expect to get bonuses at the end of the year. Okay. Is the government going to support these nightclubs, these small, petty traders? How much is he going to give them? The amount that he is going to give them, is it going to be equal, or it will based on the company's maybe value or something like that?
The only reason why companies give bonuses today is because we don't run a 3-shift system. So anytime you work outside the normal working time, it is termed as extra time and overtime. So you get what we call the overtime allowance. If there's a 3-shift system, there is nothing like a bonus. What you get is a salary for the 8 hours you work, just as people who work for 8 hours today. And in all those mining companies, government does not pay workers of private companies. What government does is to mitigate and also subsidize the taxes you pay. So the amount of taxes you would have used to pay, the amount of money you would have paid in taxes, you now use that money to pay the new people you are going to be recruiting. And again, if you are a company running 8 hours and producing 100 oranges, I use oranges as an example so we all understand. Or let me say chocolate. If you're producing 100 pieces of chocolate as a result of running 8 hours, this time, if you run a 3-shift system, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, what it tells you and I is that you produce 300 chocolates. And if you produce 300 chocolates and the people of Ghana even buy 200 chocolates, the remaining 100 could be exported to Cote d'Ivoire. We sit in this country and we import even tomatoes, we import pepper. Last year, for example, we imported pepper to a tune of 2.2 billion. Tomato was imported to a tune of 3 billion. Rice was imported to a tune of 4 billion. Sugar, 4.2 billion into this country. Everything, including dross, is imported into this country. So why wouldn't we think of an economy where we could create locally if we meet the local demand? Then we also start exporting to neighboring countries. I usually cite an example of Don Simon Xandy. And all I say is that ever since I was born, we've been drinking Don Simon in this country. Don Simon comes from Spain. Why is it that when you walk in any African country, you can see Don Simon? But when you leave even the shores of Ghana, you don't hear of anything called Calipo again. It means that we are not still leveraging on that export-led economy. We must be able to produce Calipo to the extent that one day when I'm walking on the streets of New York in the future, that's if I ever get that opportunity, I mean, I will see Calipo there, and I'll buy Calipo, and I'll drink Calipo, and I'll be proud that I bought Calipo on the streets of New York. That is what an export-led economy does for a country, and that is what President Mahama wants to do for the economy of this country. Thank you.
Okay. Before I come to Mr. President, Ghana Youth President, do you have anything to ask?
My question is good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Aniola.
Yeah.
Listen, my question is based on the corruption issue, and that's why I'm going to vote. Malik Basintale, I beg you. I want to tell you, I want you to give this information to the president that if he votes into power in next year, 2025, about the corruption, I beg him. They are giving 1 year for you to arrest everybody. Within 1 year, if he's not able to fulfill these promises, I promise you, I saw with all my people, I will let demonstration myself.
Yes.
Corruption. Look, I'm giving you this word on my serious base. Look, very seriously, because me, I'm coming to vote in Ghana. Understand? And I have my Ghana card, everything is great, I'm coming to vote. But if the corruption, John Mahama is not able to arrest them and jail them, I will be the one to let demonstration in Ghana. Unless they kill me or they arrest me, two things involved. Because corruption is killing us in Ghana. Corruption is the one that, because of corruption, I want to even vote. Because of this thing is happening in Ghana, our state property are getting missing. Our land, they are stealing everything in Ghana. They are just stealing it anyhow they want it. And we vote you to power. You come and you not arrest these people and still giving us excuses. I'm not going to take the excuses. So, if the government is not able to arrest these people, I swear me, we are going to let on demonstrating that never happened in Ghana before.
Ghana Youth President, thank you. Your message will be delivered.
Secondly, about this people are just coming out to a night.
Okay, so another question. Malik, Honorable Atachia made certain comments towards our on the former President John Mahama, and I'm sure you've heard those comments. What do you have to say about that? He said he said, why should we vote for someone who drinks? Like, Or no, Masado, he said, why should we vote for?
First of all, let me answer the issue of corruption before I come to this. Corruption is a canker, and I hate corruption with all my life. I was part of the reasons why President Mahama voiced out the aura policy, that is Operation Retrieve All the Loot. I believe that with the money the MPP appointees have stolen, if we retrieve that money, Ghana will be self-sufficient and will not even need to go and borrow any money from any country again. I can count minister to the communication minister, and their loot, including the daughters of President Akufo-Addo. Bawumia and his brother Abraham Bawumia have siphoned money from this country as if they were those who fought for the independence of Ghana. It is appalling that people steal so much money from us. And what corruption does to you and I, look, sometimes we simply do not know. In Bawumia's backyard, as we speak today, we are comfortably seated here in a TikTok live. Bawumia's backyard, there are people as we speak who are looking for a place to lay their heads. You know why? Because they have spilled the Bagre Dam. And when they spill the Bagre Dam, it consumes all the houses on the Bagre Dam road. Yet, when they gave money to Bawumia, $12 million to go and start the construction of the Paluku irrigation dam, Bawumia and his cronies squandered the money. He didn't think of his own backyard. And I have repeatedly said that if there is any crime the North should never forgive Bawumia for, is this crime of spending monies that was supposed to be used in constructing the Palugu irrigation dam. So not only will appointees be tried, Bawumia himself is a candidate for prosecution in this country. And I have said that next year by this time, Bawumia will be PS1, prime suspect 1. He will be prime suspect 1 in stealing 10,000 bags of a businessman from the port. He will be prime suspect 1 in stealing monies under the PDS scandal, where he changed the condition precedent, the condition subsequent, and presented fraudulent CalBank documents in the name of being insurance certificates. He will be PS1, where his own finance minister, Charles Edukwahin, said, Bawumia, before you sit by him to talk of Galamsey issues, you have to pay $250,000. He will be prime suspect 1 in many corrupt scandals. And when we get there, I sometimes feel pity for Bawumia, because Nanado has 3 years as president of Humanity. After 3 years, it's difficult to pro.
My boss. Good evening.
You should be confident and know that I, Malik Basintale, I have put my integrity on the line, and I have told President Mahama that if we come into power and anybody comes to beg him and plead that he should not prosecute the corrupt people of this country, if he makes a mistake to heed to it, of which I know that the President Mahama I know will never, because he has Ghana at heart. If he does that, I, Malik Basintale, I'll resign from politics and then put my life elsewhere, because I would have given up on every politician. The last politician, the last person who is contesting to be president, I have confidence that he can change the economy of this country, is President Mahama. And once, if President Mahama should disappoint me, then I'm done with politics in this country. I know President Mahama will not disappoint me, because I know he has a good track record, and I know he's done it before, and I know he shall do it again for the Ghanaian people. On the issue of Atachia, you see, it's a very dicey issue. I've thought about it, and I don't want to engage in such irresponsible, low comments. A man like Atachia, I would have called him my father, but making a comment like this, he may not even be qualified to be called my son. You see, let us focus our campaign on policy. Let's focus on bread and butter issues. The youth of this country are interested in somebody who can give them jobs. The youth of this country are interested. Look, Dr. Bawumia has been seen on different occasions being drunk, to the extent that he nearly even fell down on so many occasions. In fact, the sad part of it is that on one of the occasions when he visited a mosque, he was attempting to sit down and he fell down because he had taken in alcohol. He's the first Muslim I have seen taking in alcohol. And aside even Dr. Bawumia taking alcohol, he eats pork, bacon. You know bacon? He eats bacon and pork as if he is the one who vetted pick in this country. I mean, at the IMF meeting, there was an IMF meeting that finally approved the transactions. There was a French ambassador and other ambassadors there. Dr. Baumia asked them to give him bacon, and they served him pork. I am here to ask the chief imam whether he granted Dr. Baumia permission to eat pork. But you see, the reason why I decided not to talk about Dr. Baumia eating pork is because I feel that the people of this country will not vote because a Muslim like Baumia eats pork. They will vote because Baumia is a liar and Baumia is a totally incompetent. Baumia does not understand policy. The youth of this country will vote for John Mahama because they believe John Mahama is the game changer and John Mahama is a nation builder and John Mahama has superior policies than Alhaji Baumia. So I will beg Atachia. As for Atachia, he was even attempting to steal a throne in his hometown. They chased him away and then he had started fighting Akufo-Addo left, right, center. So he himself has serious traditional crisis. And so sometimes I think that maybe as a result of not ascending the throne, sometimes when you want to ascend the throne, they throw some spiritual attacks and all of that. So I think Atachia may be under one of those spiritual attacks. We only need to pray for him to stop in those commentaries. Let's focus our campaign on bread and butter issues. Let's talk about things that are important to this campaign. President Mahama drinks water, he drinks wine, he eats fried rice, he eats desserts, he eats bamboo, he eats egusi. How does that give the youth of this country jobs? The only thing that gives the youth of this country jobs is a 24-hour economy. And that's what President Mahama is bringing. So as for Atachia, he's under spiritual attack. As for Baumia, I think I will go further on why he likes pork, and pork is his favorite meat, even though he's an allergy. When we get there, we shall cross.
Hamza, do you have anything to add up? The boy, hold on. Hamza, you are muted.
All right, good evening to Xandy. Good evening to the man of the moment.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, please. Yes, my first question would be on the youth. I've had the opportunity to read the youth manifesto, and I've seen the section of national service personnel, and I want to know how is it going to be different from the current one that we are having. That's my first question.
Take the question again, please.
I said then I had the opportunity to read the youth manifesto, and I came across a section where the national service personnel was acknowledged. So I wanted to find out how is it going to be different when JM comes to power with the current one they are going through, the national service.
You said you had a place where the national what was acknowledged. I didn't hear that.
The national service. National service scheme.
Yes, okay. I want to know how is it going to be different when JM comes to power with what is happening right now, the national service.
I'm not getting like what new systems are you trying to ask?
Yes. What new systems is going to put in place?
Towards national service.
Exactly.
Oh, there are so many things we want to do towards the national service scheme in this country. You remember that before we left power in 2016, we were those who increased the national service, pay, because we thought that it was so limited. From the 553 to around 7 something. This government came and decided not to even enforce it. They rather delayed it, and then I think today it's been taken to 700 and something. There are different forms in which national service is going to be tackled. One, the mama says there are the teacher trainees who usually engage in the mandatory national service is going to be scrapped off. So the first thing we're going to do for the teacher trainees is that once you are done, you get automatic posting instead of undertaking that 1 year national service. To people who already engage in national service, because the mama thinks that look, after national service, there are companies who think that you don't even have the experience to enroll in their institutions, and that's simply because they don't see the need or the importance of even undertaking national service in this country. So we're going to have what we call the sectorial service. Depending on the course you do, I know people who did accounting jobs, and at the end of the day, they were posted to go and direct traffic on the streets. They stand on the road, and from morning till evening, they are directing traffic. You know that, my brother. So, yes. As the moment thinks that the job you do should be directed to the institution in which you'll be working in. And so, one of the things we would look at is to ensure that all the people, all the young people who, depending on the job, depending on the course of study, you'll be taken to learn, to undertake a rigorous exercise in the institution that links to the course of study. Right after that, it is easy to get an employment in that particular institution simply because there's going to be that uniform economy that will create enough space for all these people to get enrolled. So national service would definitely be golden. And for the salary, these 715 cities, I think that's how much you pay, right? 715. It's virtually nothing to write home about. Even your rent in itself ends up consuming virtually everything in your salary. So that amount of money will definitely be looked at, and it will be taken to an amount that you will be impressed. And that amount I think will come yet, but just as we did in 2016, it will be done again, and your course of study will definitely be linked to the service you will be doing. So that right when you're done, there will be enough room for you to also get a job in this country. Thank you.
My last question. Yeah, I want to know how the 24-hour economy, how is it going to help my mother who sells in the market?
The 24-hour economy?
Yes, please.
How is it going to help your mother who sells in the market?
Yes.
I mean, there are obviously production companies that use raw materials, depending on what your mother sells in the market. If that company starts running a filtration system, what it means is that if they were buying 10 tubers of plantain to produce whatever they were producing in the company, this time they'll be buying 30 tubers. So production will also boost for your mother who sells in the market. Again, your mother goes to buy commodities and mostly from people who import the goods. And if she sells things that are imported to the country, as a result of a 24-hour economy, companies are going to produce many of the things your mother sells in the market. And so the struggle in which your mother used to go through in order to get some of these raw materials to sell in the market will become a thing of the past. If we run a 24-hour economy and we're able to meet local demand and also leverage on that export-led economy, the dollar is going to reduce because the cedi is going to be strengthened because we're going to start exporting more instead of importing more. And while the dollar is subsidized, it will reduce the prices of commodities for your mother in the market to also get, some things to buy at cheaper prices. And things are going to be moving for your mother who sells in the market because many people who sell in supermarkets in the market usually rely on imported goods. And the people who sell things in the market, depending on what your mother sells, usually struggle to even buy things in the market, all because the dollar is so high and the importation of goods are usually done at higher prices, and your mother is unable to even buy things to fill in her store. Once the economy is leveraged and once the economy works properly, it's going to reduce the prices of commodities for your mother to also buy. And it's also going to increase productivity so that people could go to markets to buy the prices of the market. But mind you, there are markets that could even run a three-shift system. Organized markets like the KJTR market, the Kotokraba market, and markets that are well structured and well built could also run 24 hours. I mean, if people work, people will go to these supermarkets to buy things like that. If you travel outside the country, sometimes at 2 a.m. you can walk into a shop to even buy a shirt. But in Ghana here, after 7 p.m., sometimes you even struggle to get a dress to buy from the shop. So if your mother sells dresses in some of these organized shops, she could also go a trade-shift system where people could be substitutes, and then a shop could always be active for people to walk in there and buy things.
Okay, thank you. Ibrahim Gausu.
Yes, Xandy.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You can ask your question. The boy, if you're the party, last questions, no I. Okay. Ibrahim, please ask your question.
Thank you very much. And
you're almost hitting 1K eyeball. That's great.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Malik. So, I've said this before with yourself when you came up on TikTok, and I want to reiterate the point that what Bawumia has done to our country is so damning that we, the NDC, we don't even have to be saying too much about what is it that we are going to give to Ghanaians. They already know that. Yeah. But we should be holding Bawumia accountable for what he said he was going to do, what Ghanaians gave him, and what he delivered. Yeah. I think that question of credibility, Mali, if we hate that credibility, because Ghanaians know it, what is that they promised, what they were given, and what they delivered. So I implore you, the communication. I know you guys are doing amazing work already, but if we can hit that point to better explain to Ghanaians the rot, because some people don't even still understand the level of rot where they put our country. So for me, it's a little suggesting that if we can hit that point a lot more, Ghanaians will understand why Bawumia can never, ever be trusted. So I just wanted to mention that. Number two, I live in the UK. Thank you. So I live in the UK, and I have enjoyed and experienced the 24-hour economy, and I also understand the benefit of 24-hour economy. So when I heard the 24-hour economy, the first day I heard that, I was like, yes, truly this is a game changer. So I also implore you, because you beautifully, amazingly explained that right now, the answers, they are beautiful. If we can also have a segment with yourself where you put them one by one, the benefits are unlimited. Like the way you just explained to this guy, the benefit of his mom who sells at the market, that is amazing. Because some people say, oh, there's no demand, but we import almost 300 billion of goods into our country. So Malik, if there's a company that produces a tomato that is not enough for Ghana, why can the government not help the company to expand and have 3-hour shifts? And in doing that, we're not going to change these cedis into dollar to go and import these goods, which will also help our currency. So please, if you yourself, because when you came on TikTok, that day was blazing everywhere. If we can have you, Xandy is here, if we can have this series of segments where you come in, you take them one by one, each sector, how the 24-hour economy is going to benefit us in terms of our currency, in terms of our import, in terms of our employment, and that will go a long way too, because people, those who haven't experienced it, when you say 24, they say, oh, I didn't say man for that will be so only in London, it's 136 billion that gives to London a year. The 24-hour economy in just London alone. So it's just essential. If we can do that, Malik, to really get that to Ghanaians, that if we will embrace the 24-hour economy, if we will accept it and help our flag bearer, our leader, to come in on 7 December, is going to be a game changer, because the way these people have destroyed the country, if we don't bring something like that where we are working non-stop, it's like a machine, to be able to catch up and bring Ghana to the level where we were in 2016 and then go beyond, that means we are finished. So I wanted to thank you. I wanted to put this to you. So thank you. Thank you very much. And also say to you, the work you guys are doing is amazing. And we are not sitting here. I'm coming in. I'll be in Ghana 20th November. We are coming to campaign and also help. I'm coming to vote. So we are not sitting here and say do all the way. You make sure we are down there as well to support. So Malik, thank you. But please, the last time you came, you said you were going to be coming to TikTok. You were coming to come weekly, so we are waiting for you.
I will. You know, I had to also go on the streets, and then Charlie, you know, I'm a street boy, so I will go mobilize some people for the streets, maybe do 1-2 things. So I had to go, and you saw me on my motorbike leading over 1,000 okada riders through there. I mean, I forgo the corners there, go talk to the guys, you know. So if I know if I come TikTok, I beg you to understand me. But if I get time, I will come. So kudos to Xandy for bringing me back live here to come and engage with you. And then, Xandy, we hope that you always bring us live again to engage with people.
That's what the comment section, everybody is saying. So don't worry, we'll see if we can be doing this once in a week at least, so that
I'll try my best.
we'll get people here. We'll see. Mohammed.
Xandy.
Okay. Do you have anything to ask or say?
Yeah. Malik, I salute.
Yes.
Yeah, the last time you shared was Central Region Communication Team program.
Yes.
And me free one, me mama bag so be UK. But from there, I'm still following everything. But me person busa question say in our manifesto, the Muma amount volunteers here, what President Mahama want to do for poultry farmers in Ghana? Because one sector, say I'm telling you, it can employ about 100,000 of Ghanaian youths. And especially in areas
or more interested in poultry farming. Yema youth new and more yedema or more so that the door now bet me move into that because I'm telling you, so share unya just one plot of land. Now your battery cage system at the youth no more some person more year free pie in farming in poultry. I'm telling you, sir, within a year they'll come out and sing praises because they will be self-sufficient in terms of their income and also even the community. Our so we took poultry product to outside, they can get it cheap from that area. I be save almost a lot. And more music as I'm saying,
fantastic. You see, my media near Hamina said, Ugoka agree once a man. Now you are no more for now cut video no more man looking as if say policies are here one towards the farming sector. In just a mark on Kofobi Rumbo say Ombeka you can say poultry once a man agree once and Uncle once him. Ugo can cook once him see a young for a cut video no man Omaka say President Mama saw about baby and cook and cook. I mean upset. But you know, we will continue to speak about the poultry industry because it's sad how much we buy the crate of eggs in this country. And there now maybe a few man to Kusia 20 cities, 7 cities, 9 cities a crate. And there's only 60 Ghana cities and 70 cities are. We didn't talk Kusia crate back. And almost every month, okay, because you have walk and apostle. Inti President Mahama, Junior, say, you bet to me, as for a poultry industry, no more can have. No, he has said, feed Yedema and or say you should be not feed no more and bravo. Because I dear Emma, because you are boy at the Ewo the Ania Coconidi. It is a Cocono feed no 18 bar for man. A man who also 18 bar from, and then grow her. Poultry in those days, Darko farms, Darko farm.
Oh, network. You say, because you can just 70 Ghana be more tongue by sizes. I can see 100 cities. If you cry 105. Oh, why not friend Malik here? Network is worrying him. So say, and my boy are doing seriously. Oh,
to say, everybody wants to be at the top to ask questions, but the requests are so many, they are too much. So just write some in the comment section and also be asked as well. Maybe because of the time, we can't pick everybody.
Please, I'm told Malik would have another meeting at 9. And since I went to me and Bisa question, me pacho type a question, no moderators then kind questions, and my and why. Just type your questions and then you would be answered. Please, we beg you. The request is something. The requests are like. I have more than you are the request in Queenie. Miss Ramonia
85.
Hey, request those and to Miss Ramonia, drop more questions, no comment session. My moderators will be reading it to them. Why? Engineer yesterday, I went to do a setup at a poultry farm and I was really impressed with what I saw there. Oh, okay. Okay. Malik, your network is worrying you, eh?
Tidbury, just ask the question.
Sorry. What is the NDC plan for her? Okay, I would ask for you, okay? Please don't, please don't come and insult Nanado here. We beg you. Please, first. Okay, so Malik, someone is asking that, what is the plan for the health sector?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring my video, but
I've sent you a request. Turn it on. When you TikTok,
I'm struggling. I'm coming.
I've sent you a request, so just accept it, and then you press. You click on save.
Okay. So let me come. Okay.
Employ me as your PA, and I'll help you.
I'm coming. Okay. So my audio is coming, right?
Yes, so you can be talking whilst we do the video.
Okay, so can you, or do you want me to go? Let me go off and try coming back on.
So you know what? I've sent you an invite to turn on your camera. Look on the screen. So you just click on it. Have you seen it?
It's not coming.
Okay, so drop down and come back again. Sure, that's fine. Please, will they implement but it's more questions no and please
Yeah,
will they implement
okay. What would GM do for contract
Yes.
workers who has been employed in the government sector?
Xandy, go into full-time campaign for NDC. Hey. If I start campaigning, you people tell me I'm going to take money. Meanwhile, I mean, you want to see the crowd will be out. You people want me to do campaign. His PA is Millicent, so don't come for her job.
Your campaign in my why? Your campaign in my where you couldn't a can you?
Minya campaign bia.
I feel you free a door-to-door campaign crab fee.
Minya campaign bia. Yeah, WhatsApp group any power you say it is a more percent a pema and mam be bet me acquire Jumano ama NDC. Who person will join a WhatsApp group now? Me patrol DM any of the moderators. We have Benis here, we have Kathleen, we have the boy, we have Vic. It's you be added to the WhatsApp group. Then we go for the campaign.
Yeah, more WhatsApp and see.
Any WhatsApp group no. Better to call better remo.
Welcome once again,
This is no joke. Why?
Thank you. All right.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
somebody.
I think we have some questions in the comment section as well.
Yes. So, but
Someone
please
said,
give us
as
the
a programmer.
questions.
Okay, this one is coming from Ken Mollet. As a programmer, I want to know what the government intends to do for existing programmers whom Okay, I want to know what the government can do to those existing programmers in the society.
fantastic question. President Mama thinks more about the IT world, and during his tenure in office, he put up a lot of systems that were supposed to build on the IT corridor in this country. You remember the National Information Center at SEC, or when we commissioned in 2016, the NIO and the rest. So many, the National Data Center was commissioned in 2016. So many, IT sectors. This time, President Mahama says we're going to train 1 million coders because he thinks that the world is moving towards an IT corridor. He's the only presidential candidate to have promised this. And so I'm glad that people are asking about the policies he has for coders and software developers in this country. President Mahama says there are many businesses in this country that rely on foreign softwares. And for this one, not everybody understands it. But the people understand what that means. There are people who spend a lot of money going to buy softwares from other countries, and you have to pay copyright, you have to pay patent rights. Xandy, you know some of these things. You have to pay huge sums of money just to mount whatever you are doing on these softwares. But Mama thinks that we have sharp IT guys in this country who are performing wonders. Ghana has won the robotics program even in West Africa before. You find people in the national robotics competition, software developers, and so many other fantastic young minds in this country. So President Mahama thinks that we should train about 1 million people in coding, in software development and what have you. And once we are done, we assign these people to all the agencies, from government agencies to the private institutions, to help build on their systems and make their companies IT friendly. There are still companies in this country that even do not have a website. So sometimes we struggle to even find information about that company. And that is why we still have a lot of scammers in this country who are scamming people on a daily basis, because people are unable to differentiate between what is authentic and what is not authentic. And that is because companies do not have websites and companies do not run IT programs. So this time, in 2025, those things will be things of the past because President Mahama will train 1 million youth in this country in coding, and after they are trained, they will be deployed to go and help in the sectors where these companies need their services, and also in fighting galamsey. You all heard of President Mahama trying to use the drone system and trying to use AI in fighting galamsey. AI gives you real-time development of activities at a particular location, and that is why these days through AI you can even determine where there's traffic on your road to work. So President Mahama said he will deploy a lot of youth who will be monitoring these drones and all these IT systems. In fact, they will build the softwares that will be used to fight all these illegal activities. Even crime rates, like somebody asked a question about crime rates. These days, if you go abroad, hardly will you see police officers even using motorbikes to patrol the streets. But you dare not commit a crime. In Dubai, you hardly see a policeman. But you dare not commit a crime because there are cameras all around, and cameras are watching you from anywhere. Once you make a mistake and rob or even take a phone, even if you are using a subway and you mistakenly pick the phone of somebody from his pocket, the subway will stop in the middle of the road and the conductor will come directly to you and tell you to bring the phone. Because there are cameras that have picked all of you and are monitoring everybody. So they can easily arrest anybody once they want to pick you up. And these are the works of IT systems and AIs. And so President Mahama says we need to train a lot of youth in this. And so that question is answered by President Mahama. Inshallah, in 2025, when President Mahama becomes president, we will train a lot of these young people in the national
Okay. This one is coming from British lawyer. Hello.
Yes.
This one is also
coming from British lawyer.
Yes.
He said the issue of level 100 stress.
Yes.
The boy, you're muting yourself.
The boy, you've muted yourself.
This one is coming from British lawyer.
Okay.
He said the issue of level 100 stress free fees. Is it going to be on the equity or equality based like the free SHS?
Oh, it's going to be on equality. Everybody is going to benefit once you've gotten admission into a tertiary institution. Because we think that every youth in this country must have the privilege of being a tertiary student. And the only way you can become a tertiary student is if you pay the admission and level 100 fees. So President Mahama says that in 2025, when he becomes president, all you need to go to school is your Ghana must go back and your EPOLAC. You walk into your school and then you start academic work. The fees you would have been paying and the fees you've been paying will be a thing of the past. So this is good news to all our brothers and sisters who are in Form 3, Form 2, Form 1, and finally is to go into tertiary institution. It does not matter which tertiary institution. Once it's a public tertiary institution, you will get your first year fees paid for you by President Mahama. And I mean, it is in line with our Constitution, Article 25, where fees of basic, secondary, and tertiary education are supposed to be enrolled in a progressively free manner. So this is the first step. In the near future, as time goes on, it will be rolled across. So Form 2s will also become free, Form 3s will become free, and finally, in the near future, all tertiary education will be free. And it will even affect the private institutions, where they will also run a free tertiary education system.
Okay. President Mahama is passionate about this Okada riders and all that. And then we all know that these days the crime rates with this Okada riders is also appalling. How is he going to regulate all this? Because just last 2 weeks, Okada first before
regulation. And that is where I agree entirely with President Mahama. I agree with President Mahama on regulation because here to work simply because Okada is more regulated in this country. Whether we like it or not, Okada has become a business that has come to stay. All we need to do is to regulate it in such a way that if you look at the Okada number plate of a motorbike, it is easy to track the owner of that Okada. As simple as that. So once the business is regulated, you can easily tell who owns motorbike A or motorbike B, or who is using motorbike A for commercial purposes and who is not using motorbike B for commercial purposes. And again, you'll be able to know which station they operate from. So the issue of, let's not confuse okada to motor riding. There's a difference between motor riding and okada. Motor riding is legal in this country. It is not illegal. So I can own a motor like I own a motor. You can own a motor and you can ride your motor. So most of the people maybe who will be robbing you are not okada business owners. They are mere motor riders who come to rob you. But you usually confuse motor riders to okada people. Okada is somebody who uses motorbike for commercial activities. And those people are not criminals. They are not robbers. Many of those people only pick passengers from one point to the other and they charge the people a fee. So that is different from owning a motorbike. So what you are saying now is for us to be mindful of people who own motorbikes. Is that not the case? And not just okada business. So in becoming mindful of people who own motorbikes, we need to beef up our security and we need to ensure that all motorbikes are usually registered before they are used. There are many people who ride
Okay,
motorbikes.
so let me take you back to the first question. Someone asked about the plans for the health sector.
Yeah, the health sector, we are going to bring back the free primary health care. It was in our 2020 manifesto and we've revisited it. President Mahama is saying that and made removed the VAT, has separated the VAT. We pay a get fund levy on all the things we bring into this country. So many unnecessary taxes. And so President Mahama says that he does not see the need why we should be paying taxes that will be more than the price of the good you buy into this country. Today, a small Vitz, Toyota Vitz, that small car, small item, goes for about 75,000 Ghana cedis. A car we used to buy for 15,000, 12,000, 750 million. It does not make sense. So President Mahama said that he will first of all reduce the import charges. And one of the things he's going to do is to introduce what we call a fixed rate at the port. What a fixed rate does is that all businesses who import things into this country at a particular dollar rate will have to use $1 rate for a particular period in time, so that you'll be able to budget ahead of time, because there are people who buy goods and bring into this country. Within 1 week, the rate that they pay at the port would have increased. So when that person goes to the port again, he has already run at a loss, because the amount, the rate at which he bought the goods has now increased, and he's going back to buy the same goods again at a higher rate. So if the dollar, for example, was changing at 10 cedis a dollar, within 1 week, that same dollar now changes at 14 cedi a dollar. What it tells you and I is that you have already lost 4 cedi each on every dollar per commodity you bought. So President Mahama said that affects a lot of businesses in this country. So the fixed rate, if you bought goods at 10 cedi a dollar, for the next 6 months, we are going to work with that rate at 10 cedi a dollar. Whether the dollar becomes 11 cedi, whether it becomes 12 cedi, whether it becomes 15 cedi, you will still have to go and deal with the port at 10 cedis a dollar. That will let you, the businessman, be able to budget ahead of time for your commodities. And one of the important things we are going to do is to stabilize the dollar and reduce the dollar rate. Today, the dollar changes at 16 Ghana cedis. It doesn't make sense. How can I use 16 cedis to buy $1? How? Just tell me how. And we have that same man who put us in this crisis campaigning to be president of this country. And we still have people listening to him. How? A man who said he had arrested the dollar in the key was with the IGP. The dollar today, whether it has finished serving a sentence in prison, whether it finally beat all the prison officers and escaped jail, whether it finally stole the key and opened itself and left jail, we don't know. But what we know is that the dollar has broken loose and the dollar is in the market stealing all our cedis. It doesn't make sense. So President Mahama is saying that we will reduce the dollar rate, would bring the fixed rate at the port, and would reduce the port charges and taxes and levies that have been impounded on our cost build up anytime we are clearing goods at the port. When that happens, the people of Abosokai, the people who buy cars and import goods into this country, will be happy once again, because we'll be able to bring cars into this country and clear them at cheaper rates. That's good news for all of us.
Okay, thank you very much. The boy, you can ask your question now. Nah, do you have anything to ask?
Okay. Mr. Malik, the man of the moment, the boy, Malik Basintale.
Yes, sir.
Maybe Brofoni Aka, who as your Brofoni on TV. The problem I can say. The problem I say, yeah, nursing, agriculture, at the end of the day, 7th December, say ordinary Ghanaians, Eko to Abama, John Mahama, inshallah. Made who says ordinary Ghanaians, no. Our ballot is protected. Like, how sure say our ballot can be protected? That's my worry.
Me show cry. Me show what say. Senior, ye kuma Ghana for ewo asen no. Emma nyomu ye nyina NDC di nkonimno. Ye be sanso aye on 7th December. Makasi su pi say hwe to me, our MPP for Sunday. But the constitution, I will actually say on the 6th of December, to me, no, a selby Ghana for 7. Now, 7th December, Ghana for a share, no more person or more to me, no more the South to me, no, at the Amasari. Indeed, a more being an audience said, we will not hand over power to the NDC. Governments don't hand over power. We swear in a president. We don't hand over to a president. It's not true. The only thing a government does is to give handing over notes. Handing over notes is not power. Power is given by the Ghanaian people. Indeed, your constitution. There is nowhere that the constitution says a government hands over power to another government. No. So before dinner platforms, so Kasa will not hand over power, will not hand over power. They themselves will not even have power on the 7th of December. Because on the 7th of December, power will go into the hands of the Ghanaian people. Then Ghanaian people will go to the ballot box and determine who they want to give power to. When they give power to you, they swear you in on the 7th of January. They don't hand over power to you, they swear you in. And that is why on the 7th of January, you don't have Akufo-Addo holding the ballot. Akufo-Addo will not hold power and say Mahama Beji power. No. Chief Justice and the Bible share president and no the 2 million and the Ashan and Sam Ghana for the 2 million and the Ashan and Sam. So you can be rest assured that when Ghanaians give us power, we the NDC will protect that power. And some of them can Brother Jump on Okasa say Brother Jump, you know your US, they say no Nkuku or kitchen and no now Abrofona say on Palava sauce no apa. But I jump on one palava sauce, my windy will get a palava sauce.
And not palava sauce.
Indeed, on him a poor it doesn't mean more. On no brother jump hotel hotel, mini hotel. Who brother jump on hotel. Also now, sorry, and now Cassa and a Fatumi Mamo, Fatuma. Meanwhile, Abra, we are against a Wuria hotel. Ye did a cra pet Ujai hotel my and I would gane. And away a bema, and a cassa won't just our hotels no, and family. Until someone more Canadian. Munjao, I am telling you confidently, if Ghanaians give us power on the 7th of December, we will protect the power and we will use the power to develop this country to the benefit of the Ghanaian people.
Benis, your question.
Can I ask my question?
Okay, so then Gifty, ask your question. But I think Benis is not ready.
I salute you, sir.
How are you?
I didn't know.
I'm good.
Let me ask my question. I beg you.
Okay, ask.
Okay, so Mr. Malik, you've spoken well, and the question I wanted to ask is, why is that all these plans and visions, you guys don't put it in power? Like, you don't start doing something for us to see, oh, okay, at least NDC or this political party is actually doing something. But you people wait till you come in power before you start exhibiting all these things. And there are most things we don't even see doing when you guys come in power. So what shows when you guys come in power, all those things will be put to plan and not doing it now?
The truth of the matter is that when we are in opposition, Ghanaians don't pay taxes to us. So we don't even have money to do all these things we want to do. But when we come into power, you will pay taxes to us. And we will have to use your taxes to work for you. Currently, we pay taxes to the current government. And all the taxes they usually get, they just squander it and misbehave with the taxes. So we are saying that give us the power, we will use your taxes to work for you. As it stands now, a lot of the projects you want to do require some capital. If you want to build a hospital, you need money. If you want to build a school, you need money. But you don't pay, we don't have that money because we are in opposition and we don't take capital taxes from you to do. In other words, the little we can do to show that we care about you is by donating to people who are usually in crisis. You remember when the Volta region issue happened, when the pen was flooded, President Mahama went and donated so many trucks through Ibrahim Mahama of rice and so many other things. I believe you saw it. When Akufo-Addo went there, he told them that they don't vote for him. And so he even thought that he shouldn't donate to them. For the love of God, he came to just see what he can do for them. We've been doing little.
Okay.
Kathleen.
A lot of the things we are supposed to do for you to benefit from require some capital. And we can only do that when we come into power and you pay taxes or you pay some, or government, we get some revenue from government agencies. Other than that, we don't even have the revenue to do a lot of things we want to do now.
Okay. We are all here when JDM came in power. Yeah. That's why most of the youth had a change of mind to vote for NPP to come in power. So what shows that this time when it comes, there are lots of things which repeat, like the past would repeat itself anymore.
You see, the truth of the matter is that in 2016, there was no comparison standard. Akufo-Addo had never been in power, Bawumia had never been in power. So you were comparing apples to oranges because there was no standard to see if President Mahama was working or not. So when President Mahama built Terminal 3, we all said that, oh, at the Terminal 3, anybody can build. When President Mahama built the Rich Hospital or expanded the Rich Hospital, people said that, oh, President Mahama, it's just normal for him to do that. When President Mahama gave us Circle Interchange, gave us KJTR Market, gave us 5 district hospitals, the BPO Hospital, Tolong Hospital, Somenia Hospital. When President Mahama gave us the Bank of Ghana Hospital, gave us Kotukraba Market, built the E-blocks all around. Many people were saying that, oh, as for this one, anybody can do. But today, we have all come to the realization that it is not anybody who can do that. There is a difference between somebody who is sensible and somebody who is sensitive and can do that, and another person who is weak and insensitive. So in the next election, you can compare apples to apples. At least you can compare President Mahama's track record to Bawumia and Nanado's track record. So there is currently a standard of comparison. In 2016, you remember President Mahama lied to you and I that Bawumia had worked in the Bank of Ghana and knows that there is money. Nanado said yet is Sikaso and so a common there today in the common there. It tells you and I that in 2016 they were simply a pair of braggadocious team who go about saying a lot of lies, spilling a lot of lies. And in 2016, a lot of people tarnished the image of President Mahama. They said Airbus, they said Ford, you remember? But we've all come to the realization that all those things were lies, because President Mahama has been investigated and he's been vindicated. He's been called an angel and he's been called a Jesus Christ. And there are people who say that his second coming is going to be massive because they saw what he did in the first time. So indeed, in 2016, there was no standard of comparison. But in 2024, we can compare President Mahama, who borrowed just 44 billion and built a lot of the things we see in the city today, and Bawumia and Nanado, who have borrowed over 700 billion. 700 billion, and yet we cannot see a single thing they have used all those monies to do. So we don't blame Ghanaians in 2016 for voting against President Mahama. They did so because Nanado was lying and Bawumia was lying more than Nanado. Today we have seen them and in 2024, we can tell that they are a condemned team and they have nothing good for the people of this country. So we decided to go back again and choose President Mahama, who changed the dollar at 40 to 20 pesos. We bought a gallon of fuel at 13 cedi under President Mahama, and cost of living was relatively low under President Mahama, as compared to this pair of braggadocious, empty and incompetent, clueless, visionless, and inept government.
Okay, thank you.
Your question.
Okay, Kofi Agenda, can we go ahead? And you have just 1 minute because our time is almost up, please.
Just 1 minute. Okay, good evening, my boss. Yeah, brother, Wakasa Bebre, Oya dear. Now, yeah, sure, I'm on for no one now. We TikTok on you say NDC for you in Swadia. Now, yeah, the respect, na Maya Hemfo, and ya software no. Since 2012 election, now, Sana President Mahama, Nana Kufa do the Ebeko Koto no. The Indian na Maya Hemfo phobia no Mukoshia Mu Kumase. Almost since I crata the Guho. And not that 2016, you're solid flag on Yanosono. Nan this year, Swadia and Kayan solid. By a handful no, and ya software no. Crata be on the toe President Mahama. When you answer for now, Kuta Commodine or mine hono. I can't say we are penny for Macassa Metie. And at 2016, Yakunan man and I go for Ado. Nakabe, the baby, I bet not Kunyansa President Mama Baker 8 years. 2020 election, no. Opposition leader, I have found Kwame John Mahama. Your two abandoned will no kuta 6 million votes. Up to now, Jemensa, into me for a figure. Nana Kufa to the winning election, Metro Abonting.
Yes.
And there was what also your president. Now, President Mahama and Krata since I go want to know we did after the election 2020 election, no. Nana Kufa to go Kumasi, or Koya day. Pano could find so Kumasi. I ain't one of Nana Kufa to Kumasi because of Nakrata be the hall. And no President Mahama, you were friends of Pusukwate, Mr. Sabefia, Fifi Court Omoba, Europe, the catcher woman say. Apa will be obedi agrobiano, obedi antwa,
more fire.
And this in Penifo, obedi agrobia 2024, obedi antwa. Me we and Masaya video, dear mom say, will be our Nick, Christian Council, Peace Council, and another for best side people, Biano, or also the antwa mano. Because Penifo not disappointed here. Yahim for no, any Yahim and your shop for no, Peace Council, Credit Council, Christian Council. When we are disappointed people, Emma NDC, now President Mahama Christo Nino, or the Akuma Papa, any buo, and a ma woman, near who's a sound of fire say a doormat, and Omonami so. In the NCBM, the Mamma someone come 2024 election, and number 8:30 to 9. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia Bernard so far from after President Mahama said we're winning. And then go for the new meeting, some money for President Mahama. The best thing because both need to stand ready and the people President Mahama win the election.
Kofi, me pacho, what they always imagine so Malik not our meeting for being so and when me for send the pana menyano and in second me pana chona and at least yeah no because the time no the my now for my 2 hours. Okay. No, I late, but today, yeah, time, yeah, the better no. Now, at least, your man, then maybe from next week, never say be once a week, no. Not yet, me actually, because questions in their doors, we see a idea, bet you a doors of pan. And so they can be here, Miss Rowe. You know, better to come out to us. So, one kind of last words, not yen trust why.
Okay, Matuasi, until next time, no bounce a question, no motomana, yes or no. You understand that I could see my brother so I didn't this a permanent. The question if you are Motoman, I answer about 1 year, you are not met here from.
Okay, McCarthy, just
Malik,
20 seconds, please.
Do you have a question?
No, McCarthy, just 20 seconds, please. Make it snap.
Okay. Time no.
Okay, McCarthy, let me hear you.
Okay, she's gone, so you
McCarthy on your phone. Okay, so Malik, please, your last word, but before that, Pacho, those who said the campaign, me DM, I've seen your message in Pacho, Miss Remo. The WhatsApp link is on my profile. And tap on the WhatsApp link and join the WhatsApp group. Me Pacho, why, Miss Remo? Thank you. Malik, please give us your last word.
I hope to see you doing a door-to-door campaign for the NDC and for John Mahama. He's the man to give us the future we need. He's the man to build this country. I can't wait to see you in very beautiful NDC shirts. We'll be willing to support you with the shirts, the logistics, the umbrella, and then next week, Wednesday, we would have an umbrella challenge. Everybody should take a picture with an umbrella and say that the NDC, you could only be safe under an umbrella.
So Malik, I would send you my address. So please, you if someone can deliver some of the things to us, so that hopefully, as we begin the new month, we would also start what we can do to support the party.
I would give you.
Please, we are plenty. We are more than 100. So please, it should be enough.
We can give you about 1,000 t-shirts to go out there and then give to people.
Grateful.
And then people who support us even here, don't worry. There are many people who are willing to support in the campaign. So maybe as I've said it, people will support the campaign even before we bring it. And so I hope to see you on the streets. Let's work hard for President Mahama. He's the game changer. He's the nation builder. He's the man with a good track record. He's the man who can transform the corridors of this country for the youth of this country to benefit. He's the man who can redeem all our promises to us. And he's the man who is trustworthy. 2 days ago, I heard Steerman saying they should give him, if he does everything today, he will not do anything again when he becomes president. I think sometimes the man thinks he's talking to me. Or as the NRG say, on him kolam in the other. Into the end in India,
Okay, so guys, please tap on the link on my profile now. WhatsApp people, you will come straight to the WhatsApp group. After that, we'll find a team to communicate with Malik, and then we'll get the necessary things. Now I start to Malik, thank you so much. Meba, hold on. Hey, Meba, hold on. Hey, Meba, Malik, please. Someone from the US says that. Your nose is cute. What's the man now? Mama G, Babu, do you
win a vote for John Mahama?
Yes, it will win a vote for John Mahama.
I accept it, please.
So, Gifty, you said you want to ask something. Gifty, please, just 30 seconds.
Okay, so please, I'm a teacher, and I'm talking about for the distance students in some of the universities of Ghana. But if you don't go to training colleges and stuff, and you finish schooling for the degree in the university as a distance student, looking for a job in the government sector is very difficult for us. So please, when you come in power, what will you do for us?
For people who do what?
People who go for the distance schooling. We don't go to the training college, but we go to the university for our degree. But we don't go to the training colleges. But when we complete schooling...
But you have a degree, right?
Yes, but we do distance. Their focus is on those in the training colleges.
It doesn't matter. A distance degree, a regular degree, it's the same.
But their focus is on those in the training colleges. They don't look at us. Yes, they don't look at us. The distance students, they don't look at us.
Yes,
so
yes, that is where I have been given. The house to house, and then the market areas, and then the in crossing. That's where my team is going to focus. That's where we are going to focus on. Why?
So I think that's a good point. They don't focus on distance students. That's very bad. I mean, that's highly insulting. The last time I listened to Napo saying that diploma students were dunderheads and all of that, I felt so sad because people attend diploma education not because they are dunderheads. There are people who attend diploma education for different reasons. My father did diploma not because he was a dunderhead. He came from a poor village in the Upper East region where they could not afford to even pay his tertiary to do a 4-year degree program. So you have to do a diploma, start working as a teacher, and then be able to take a salary and then further his education. So he wasn't a dunderhead. But Napo thinks that diploma students are dunderheads. Then I think that Napo will even think that distance students are also dunderheads. Anyway, this is how they will be sorted. And those days will soon be a thing in the past. President Mahama respects everybody. He respects Ghanaian
people, both people who are educated and people who are not educated. And there's a place in the government for all of us. And so when we get there, I think that it will benefit all of us. I mean, finally, let's all know that the NPP government will dole out a lot of money. And last minutes are dangerous. The kicks of a dying horse are usually harder than when it was even alive. But they are not hard enough to save it from dying. The soul of the NPP government has left it. Power has left their hands. They know they are losing. Recently, they said they wanted a loan of about 500 million, and they wanted to use it to support their farmers. And that was surprising. They simply want to share money. Remember to collect part of that money because you've been paying e-levy. The last time I listened to Kim Paluta, he said the only reason why he collected money from the NPP and decided to perform for them was because we fear e-levy our bread. So when they bring the money, collect only Momo account and be Momo account because MPP phone and say almost always send it coming through mobile money. We need bank account and so on. Collect the money. It is your money. They are borrowed in your name. Currently, as we said there, as a result of our and analysis and competence, you owe about 25,000 Ghana cedis based on the money they are borrowed. When they bring the money collected. But when you get behind the ballot box, vote for your future, vote for a transformation, vote for progress, then vote for a better Ghana. That can only be that if this country is reset. And the man who resets this country is His Excellency John Mahama and his highly competent running mate. Not arrogant, humble, sober, gentle, respectable, and a woman who comes to the table with high qualities and a distinguished ability of womanhood. All women of this country should be proud of Professor Nana Ajima because she's not just going to pass through the door, but Xandy, she's going to pass through, open the door, and hold it for Xandy Camel and all well-meaning ladies in this country who also pass through. That's good news to the women.
Hey, oh, wise.